Welcome back to another video. Hope you've been enjoying them. So we are going to be taking a detour away from the little mini-series about the jungle railroad that I've been building, just because twice now I've said that I didn't think it was going to be a super grindy process, and it was a very grindy process. And I don't want to grind today. I want to work on a more fun project that just doesn't take hours and hours on end. And that project still revolves around the jungle base, and it's that I don't have a first floor. Well, I mean, I do have a first floor, but I have nothing in the first floor. And I do now have a plan with that, and that plan is going to involve a lot of the stuff in this chest. I will need some of this initially, but the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to be taking some of the stuff from this floor and we're going to be moving it down. So we're going to be grabbing all of these items, take away the bed. The carpet actually is going to stay up here. I have a plan for that. Let's get rid of all this. And whack that. And I'll leave the bookshelves up here for now, but we're going to come down here and we're going to start putting the bedroom items here instead of on the first floor. And I'm thinking probably just go ahead and put the clock there. Let's feel like this would be a good place to put the sapling. I did have the painting. Oh, that's perfect. I did have the painting there before. It's mainly where to put. I don't think we're gonna put the map anywhere, but it's mainly like where to put the pot and the fern. And I'm thinking probably just. If you didn't know, you can take these decorated pots, and if you shift right click, you can put a regular pot on top and then put something in that pot. Now I think it looks very cool, looks very detailed. And then maybe just that, or kind of thinking a lot of the time when I build, I think about which ways am I actually going to be viewing. This is going to be one of the primary views as you come up from the basement, and I like this. I like the pop of blue, and then you kind of keep with more of the earth tones throughout, even with the armor. So that's good. When you first walk in, it's a little kind of offset, but if you're coming down here, you see it, and that's good. And it's not too difficult in terms of movement to get between either the front door and the top or the front door and the basement, and that's thanks to the fact that you can walk through scaffolding. And if you just barely clip it, you really don't even move really at all. So I like that. So I think the next thing to do is to transport the parrots. And I don't know how to get them to sit down, because like he just went right. What are you doing? Moving parrots around in small spaces is problematic, as I found when I first got them up here. Get down here. Okay, sit down. Guess I could probably lead it. I'm really happy with the new lead mechanics in the game. They've made moving mobs and boats and stuff like that just so much easier. So I want to take you and I want to move you. And I think you're... maybe put both of them on the windowsill. So the other one's more blue or more cyan, so I think you should go like there. And then grab you. Because you really fit with the cyan aesthetic. So I think you should go like right No, not in the corner. There. There we go. Go ahead and sleep. I kind of forgot to mention that I did this yesterday because I was just experimenting. I put some chiseled tuff in the ground and made this a full wall of glass, and I really like it, especially because you can see the cows and the chickens and everything. I'm really liking that. I'm thinking about potentially getting a texture pack or a resource pack that just makes glass panes clear and that you can't actually see either the streaks like these or the connecting parts like these. So I'm going to be looking into that potentially. I still remember when glass, like you barely could actually see through it because it had so much going on in it. But either way. So let me put some stuff away here. And yeah, I think the only thing is I think this parrot's going to want to move, so we'll just move it closer so that I don't bump into it as much. It's very minimal, but at the same time, there's no reason to really do anything more with it. And there's also not a whole lot because I'm trying to keep an open aesthetic, and so you don't want to cram too much. You can't really put solid blocks here because of the glass panes and they would connect. So I'm really liking this. And so now we're going to address the top here. And the idea that I have for this top section is to make it like a cartography office. And you probably could have guessed that from some of the stuff in here, but maybe not too. I obviously like maps. I have a map in my inventory. I have that map there. In real life, I deal with mapping quite a bit, so it's just one of those things that even in a video game, I seem to be gravitated towards. And so I feel like putting something up top, even if I don't actually use it as a decoration bit, it gives kind of some purpose and some like logic to that kind of thing. And I feel like it makes more sense to do it up here because there's more opportunity to do stuff because we have a railing there, open space here that we don't have to deal with, stuff connecting, whereas here it kind of feels a little bit more cramped, a little bit more of a struggle, especially with that one wall that's um, just straight up glass, like that one right there. So I think the other thing that I thought was interesting is I had these two lodestones, and lodestones are those things where if you take a compass and you right click it to the lodestone, it alters the point of the compass to point towards the lodestone. And this is like a feature that's never used, but it is a cartographic feature inherently, so I think it kind of makes sense to include them in some form or another. Got bookshelves, got a whole bunch of decorative items, and so I'm gonna just try and be messing with that. I don't have a I had a pretty good idea of what I wanted to do with the first floor here. I don't have as good of a plan here, so let me mess around with it, and I'll bring you back once I either have it done or once I have a plan, and then I can show you my thought process as I went through it. It's not touching my chickens again. Alright, and with a little bit of time, I have designed the cartography office. So let's walk through a little bit. Very similar to the first floor, I kind of wanted to keep it very open. I just feel like the entire concept of this house is pretty open with all the windows and everything. So I wanted to keep that. We also have the large windows, so we don't want to do anything there. And I really like the bookshelf or the shelves themselves as molding. So I didn't want to do anything with that and wanted to keep the vaulted ceiling. So we pretty much had to keep everything to one level except for a few item frames here. But I think everything works super well. So you have a lectern, which this can kind of be like your drawing place. And I think this is a nice little area because you can see the sun setting. You can look over your horses and stuff as you're busy creating your map. I have a map here. This is that area way over there where we're connecting to the Jungle Railroad. You can kind of see the rail line here and the stairs going up to this area here. And so this is kind of like the created map, and maybe the person who's working on this, who has this blank map here, either they just finished that and they just put it off to the side, or they're getting ready to reference it for another map. We have some bamboo in a decorative pot here, and there's two reasons for the bamboo. The first is that you can actually make paper out of bamboo, so you can have some pretty interesting maps based on bamboo made paper, or paper made bamboo. I don't know which way that actually goes, if that's even English, but you have that there, but then also just kind of fits with the jungle theme. I feel like there's a lot of jungle trees and stuff going on in this area, so adding bamboo kind of helps balance it out in my mind a little bit. Move over here, you obviously have the cartography table where you can lock maps by putting in a map and a glass pane, and that will lock the map. Obviously, you need that if you're in a cartography office. You have your compass, which interestingly, even in an item frame, is pointing that direction, which is towards spawn. So yeah, you have candles to work by candlelight. I just kind of, I don't know why I associate that with cartography, doing stuff by candlelight, but it works in my mind. And then a chiseled bookshelf here with just regular books. I could maybe put some efficiency 5 books from the bottom down there. I may end up doing that. Actually, now that I think about it, that's a good idea. Maybe like some efficiency 5 and mending books. And then just some blank maps just to kind of add some more decorative detail as a very loud motorcycle passes by my window. But I think this works out really well. Maybe I'll add like one or two things on top here. I don't exactly know what those would be right now. Maybe, because I never used those lodestones. I was thinking about maybe doing something with like the stone that's in my inventory here. I didn't end up doing that. Maybe I can like create some lodestones and put the compasses in there so they're enchanted and they're glowing and they kind of bring your eye up a little bit. But I'm really liking this, and I kept the gray carpet. The only thing that I can't really make my mind up on is if the carpet should be back here or where it was, and for now I'm favoring that. I think that works. And I don't know why, again, gray just kind of fits with the aesthetic as the moon rises and is also gray. Um, Only other thing maybe to note is the actual use of dark oak, which is the first time in this base that I've used something that's not either jungle or bamboo or something like that, and that's simply because I wanted to kind of create a color balance with the cartography table. So obviously the shelf right next to it, but then the next closest thing is the chair, and I feel like the chair needs to also be dark oak. These can all just be regular oak because A, they're just bookshelves and a lectern, they are just plain oak, but also they're just kind of all in a line, so you kind of need all of that to be the same color texture and that kind of thing. I just really like this view. This view, you don't really get a whole lot. You can just barely see the river out there. Kind of same with this view, but then you get the open air balcony. So after you're done creating a map or working on maybe some drawings or outlines or something, you can just step out onto the patio and look out and get some fresh air. So I hope you've enjoyed this interior build of this jungle base. I think I'm now happy with that. Again, maybe some minor tweaks as we go along, but even looking at it from the chicken coop, I think it just looks really nice. So I think that part is done. Not sure what the next video is going to be, because I kind of want to take a break from working on, whatever we're doing over there, connecting through the Jungle Railroad. Not sure what the next video will be, but obviously you can look forward to future videos and a new Hot Take Tuesday in a few days. So I hope you enjoyed this video, hope you enjoyed the ones to come, and thank you for watching this one.